Now I'm going to show you how to replace the auger motor and auger in your Smokin Brothers barbecue grill. This is probably the most difficult thing to do on our grills altogether. Now the first thing first, you're going to unplug the grill from the outlet. You always want to start with your grill unplugged with no power. First things first is I'm going to show you first on the traditional how to do this, and then I will turn around and show you on the Premier. You need to know that actually everything we've talked about up to this point is the same whether it's on the traditional or on the Premier. But now with us having to remove the auger motor, it's going to be a little different for the two grills. You want to first go ahead and undo the actual controller. And so you will go ahead and take those two screws off all the way as well. So you take that out, you pull that forward. You're going to go ahead and take your little screwdriver, undo the sensor on the RTD sensor. Undo that. And then you'll unplug the wires, the purple and white wire, the orange and white wire, the red and white, and the black and white, and remove this controller completely. Okay? Once you have that set down, the main reason why you want to remove the controller, because if you go just to move the hopper right away, you will actually pull the wires from the controller and could damage the controller. So you want to get the controller completely out of your way before this next step. So what you'll end up doing is taking these 4 screws loose on the hopper, and then removing any excess pellets you may have in the hopper, because once you pull this hopper away, all your pellets that are in here are going to fall down. So you want to take all the pellets out of your hopper. And then that's how you would actually remove the traditional hopper. And then I'm going to now show you how to do the Premier on how to take that apart. All right, now on the Premiers, because the actual hopper is welded to the grill, all you need to do is remove the front panel. Now what I do is I'll go ahead and I'll loosen these 4 screws to start with so that they're hand tight. Again, you always want to make sure your grill is unplugged. You never want to have your grill plugged up while you're doing this. You remove these 4 screws, and then you can lay this panel right down on your thighs, and you can actually unplug everything pretty easily. Then take your little screwdriver and actually undo the terminal block again, and then you can take the whole panel and set it aside. And that's how you get, and then you'll have access to the actual auger motor assembly right in front of you. Now, you got to be careful, because when you go to take out your last screw, it will want to fall forward. So that's why I always tell people to go ahead and make sure you're in front of it when you're doing this step. Like I said, be sure you got a hold of that front panel when you're taking the last screw out. I'll loosen it, then I'll remove it slowly by hand. And then you lay this front panel right down in front of you. And then you can unplug everything pretty easily right in front of you. And then remember, you want to take your terminal block off just like that. Then now you can slide this aside. Now you have your auger assembly in front of you on the same look on the traditional, except for the hopper will not be there. So what you have 2 7/16 bolts that actually hold the hopper assembly on, and then you also have the auger motor, which has a rod, the auger pin, which is a 5/16 bolt with an Allen head through it, that you'll actually need to remove. Once you remove that, you can actually see the whole auger system in front of you. So I'm going to grab what I need to do that from up here. Now sometimes you may not have a good angle in order to get in here and do this. So what you may have to do is remove these 2 7/16 bolts initially in order to give you more room. Because see, now I'm up here and I have no room to do this. So if you're doing this on the Premier, what you're going to want to do is, again, remove your pellets from the hopper on the Premier, because when you go to pull this whole assembly out, all of that is going to be in your way. Now, in order to pull that assembly out, you want to make sure all the wires are loose from the wire slot, so that whenever you go to pull this assembly, you're not pulling on wires as well. So you want to make sure all of them are free from each other. And see, now all you have left is the power cord, which is on the motor mount, and the auger motor, which is right here. Now you can take your 7/16 and pull the auger assembly completely out of your grill. And go ahead and pop the second screw out. And now you got, see how now that auger, the auger plate, the motor mount is loose. Now again, you're going to have some pellets that are going to fall out when you go to do this, because your auger has pellets in that void all the way to the fire pot. Now you can turn this and get a little bit better hold on your auger pin. Now when you're doing this, one thing to remember also, when you're going to remove this and you're going to put it back on, whenever you go to replace you don't want to lose those nuts. They're a very small piece, but now you have your bushing, your brass bushing, and you have your auger motor right through there. Now, what you'll end up doing, in order to put this back together, you go ahead and slide the auger right through here and the brass bushing. And you'll take and line it up with the holes. Now you'll take the 5/16 nut and put it together like that. You may want to do a couple little turns first before you can, just to get it started. It is a self-locking nut. Go ahead and put your wrench on, and take your Allen head and tighten it down. Now here, once you get it started to tight, some people will quit. You want to take that all the way down until it's really tight. You don't want to leave any slack in your auger pin, because if you do, it will cause a lot more damage later on and you'll shear that auger pin. Now you're going to want to take the auger assembly, slide it back into your grill, and make sure that you've got the brass bushing showing. And then you're going to take your 7/16 bolt and make sure everything is back in line. Now you want to start these by hand. The main reason being is because if you start it with the power drive, there's a chance that you may strip that out, and then you could end up having a problem. So always start these motor mount screws by hand. You want to take that in there and put that together just like that. And now there should be some play in the auger motor. It's a free floating auger motor. And that's how you deassemble and reassemble the auger motor system.